If you're a musician looking to get your music heard, you're probably putting your music online. One of the best ways to do this is live streaming. And if you're like me and you want to make it as simple as possible, you probably want to check out the brand new Gigcaster from BOSS. Hi, I'm Lucas Gabb, and today I'm at Gear4music checking out the brand new products from BOSS, which is the Gigcaster 8 and 5. These are 5 and 8 channel live streaming one-stop tools. They are absolutely amazing for doing everything you need to do on a live stream in one product. Live streaming has become extremely popular over the last few years, and the requirements that are needed to do it are expanding because production's getting better. But that doesn't mean it has to be hard. The Gigcaster gives you everything you need in one box. It's got inputs for guitars, microphones, Bluetooth, computers, everything. It's got effects. I mean, let's just take a look at it and see what we can see. Okay, so let's dive straight into it. So we've got two units here. We've got the Gigcaster 5 and the Gigcaster 8. Obviously, as you'd expect, we've got 5 channels on the Gigcaster 5 and 8 on the Gigcaster 8. So we're talking a difference of input outputs, but we've also got these functional pads at the bottom, which can be used for sound effects and all sorts of different stuff. If we take a look at the software, each of the unit has a super intuitive touchscreen, which is super helpful for clicking through all sorts of different menus and finding what we need. To the bottom here, we've also got LEDs which relate to each of the channels. So quickly, just to look through, we've got a guitar channel, which has got a high impedance input. We've got 3 microphone channels, which also can provide phantom power to any of your microphones, which makes them super compatible with any of your existing rig or, if you're looking to change your microphones. We also have a USB interface. The USB interface is super helpful as it allows us to send audio back from our computer. And in addition to this, we can also use these as a fully functioning USB interface within your DAW. We also have a channel for a phone input, which inputs down here with a 3.5mm jack. This is super helpful if you are running a podcast and you're interviewing people or you're taking calls. This allows you to capture that directly from your device, meaning that you don't have to set up any additional routing or, any mess. So we've also got a Bluetooth control, which is great for sending audio from a computer, perhaps if you wanted to, from your phone, if you want to jam along with something, or there's always situations where someone wants to show you, particularly if you're running an interview kind of scenario or something, someone might want to show you a song or a bit of audio that they've captured, which is a super streamlined way to just get that straight into it. And here we have a control for our pads. The pads have quite a unique functionality, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. So along with all the channels, we've also got 4 independent headphone outputs, and these can be used to adjust different volume for different sets of headphones for multiple people. We've got 4 XLRs across the back of the Gigcaster 8 and only 2 on the Gigcaster 5. So in addition to this, we have a super cool feature here, which is a recording functionality. This records everything that you're doing on this unit to multi-tracks and saves them in a micro SD card on the back of the unit. It also has the ability to flag different sections because maybe part of the live stream seemed like it was a standout moment for you and you wanted to make sure you know where to look. So you can flag your favorite moments and you can recall them at a later date when you're editing them within your DAW. As this is a BOSS product, there's obviously going to be some pretty cool guitar functionality into it. So let's get straight into it and look at some of the stuff that's on board this unit. So if you open the guitar channel by hitting the number 1, we can see that you've got some input controls, EQ, effects, and general. Let's get straight to the good stuff. If we hit the effects and we hit the settings up here, we can see that it has a lot of the functionality of the GX100. There's a range of different blocks, and we can control these and move them, set up different chains, and create different guitar patches. This is super helpful if you're on the move or you want to do everything within one box. Like previously, you would have to set up an amp, set up a mic, try and input that to your DAW, and try and find a good way to stream that. But having this all in one unit, this will do all of the heavy lifting for you. And this is available in both of the units. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other channels. So as I mentioned before, there's 4 XLR inputs on the Gigcaster 8. One of those is dedicated to the guitar channel, but if you're not using the guitar, you can switch this to be used for vocals. So let's move on to channel 2. So on channel 2, I've got the SM7B set up, which we'll take a listen to now. So the audio you're now hearing is coming directly from the Gigcaster from the left-right output, and this is just using the first vocal channel, which is an XLR. So we've got the input there, we've got the EQ, and we have some onboard effects from the BOSS VE series of vocal effects. So I've got a little bit of vocal compression on there because it kind of gives it that polished radio feel, but it's also great if you're recording vocals. Like, to have that in the unit and be able to get some studio quality vocals on the go is going to be great. It's going to super enhance your ability to stream. So let's have a look at some of the effects. We've got just a quick delay set up here. Hey. Ooh. Down the rabbit hole we go. So we've got a range of effects on there, which are each independent on each channel. So it's going to allow you to set up your own different sections. And if you're not using the vocal mics, you could be having instruments in there. You're going to be able to treat these independently as though you would if you were in a studio. So let's look at a few more of the channels. Each of these channels is independent and it can all be used simultaneously. So whilst I've got the guitar plugged in, you can also use the vocal mic. So you could capture multiple elements of your band in one go. So these channels are similar to channel 2. These are more vocals. We've got this USB channel here. So this USB channel allows you to connect stuff like your computer and you can send audio. So say, for example, you were a singer-songwriter and you had a drum track that you wanted to play along to. You'll be able to do this via this connection. And if you set this in just via the USB-C at the back, you're going to be able to play and stream off whatever platform you prefer to send your music across. Here, I've got a track coming from Spotify directly through the USB, and I'm able to mix it and control it with this fader here. So let's take a listen. So, I mean, it sounds great. It's awesome for being able to mix that with your music live. But the fact of the matter is, this unit is also a 32-bit 48K audio quality. So obviously when we're streaming, it isn't super important that you have the highest possible quality. And this unit is delivering that premium studio quality. And it's really noticeable, obviously, when you're listening to a full performance song like that, where you expect it to be this high quality. Being able to serve that on your live stream is invaluable. The next channel we have is a mobile channel. So this allows you to connect your phone via the 3.5mm jack down here. If you connect your phone, you're able to talk to different people, take calls. It just gives you complete functionality without having to set up any additional patching or any kind of weird behavior. I think we're all aware that sometimes things can get a little bit messy when you're trying to include tech, and this kind of really just reduces the hurdles between that. We also have Bluetooth functionality, allows you to connect any Bluetooth device. And as mentioned earlier on, we've got the pads. So the pad channels are super cool. You can either have these set up as effects or you can have them set up as sound effects. So I've got them currently set up as sound effects, as you'll hear in a second. Who doesn't want that at the push of a button? Round of applause just for luck. So, these are really helpful if you're hosting a show and, you kind of just want to give it that added production value. But, not to mention, these pads can also be set up for super unique MIDI programming. So there's full MIDI functionality with this unit, and that can send MIDI messages to your streaming platform like OBS, which allows you to do scene switching and all sorts of different navigational stuff that you would normally have to do within a computer. I've personally done a little bit of streaming, and I found that this was probably one of the biggest hurdles, particularly if you're not using multiple monitors and you've got different things going on different screens. The ability to program this super quickly and have each of these set up to be, your different scenes or your different moments in it is going to be very helpful to anyone just starting out who wants to get into streaming. So these pads can be used to change the effects on the guitar within the unit during your stream. So say you've got multiple different sounds that you need, you can set these up to switch between them in between songs, or perhaps if it's actually during a song, you can use a foot controller which connects via the back. So who's it for? The Gigcaster is for musicians who are looking to get streaming straight out of the box. So I've spent a bit of time trying to live stream myself, but I've always found that using a computer and a DAW, it gets a bit complicated and removes the fun part of it. The Gigcaster makes it so fun straight out of the box. Having all those tools, effects for vocals and for guitar is just a no-brainer. If you're already familiar with BOSS's effects, you're going to walk straight into this and have no issues setting up. We've only just scratched the surface. There's features like mix minus, ducking, that are just going to make your life so easy. Thanks for watching the video. And if you want to find out more about how the Gigcaster can upgrade your live streaming setup, make sure you hit the link in the description. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.